Good evening. I'm going to talk about globalization. Uh, in this world, I'm going to define what globalization is, the advantages and disadvantages of the global phenomenon. We will also comment of the process of communication and interaction between people of groups with identities of different specific cultures, which we can define as interculturality. Finally, I will touch on the topic of the importance of cultural awareness, which brings together knowledge, skills, and attitudes that make it easier for a person to communicate and interact with individuals from another cultures. At first, I'm going to talk about globalization and is the process that has brought closer and connected markets, societies, and cultures around the planet. In simple and short words, it has brought closer and connected markets, societies, and cultures. It began to accelerate since the 1980s, interconnecting economic societies and cultures. Uh, Now I'm going to talk about global economic. Countries have eliminated tariff barriers and have signed trade agreements, integrating more economical. I think the most advanced is economic globalization, thanks to liberalized and increasingly international trade. Countries have eliminated barriers such as tariff and signed trade agreement to integrate economically. At the same time, multinational move their activity to other countries to save costs in order to save money, a phenomenon known as offshoring. Now I'm going to talk about cultural globalization. Cultural globalization is a greater exchange of values and tradition between countries. We can see people of different countries in this picture. A cultural globalization, for its part, has consisted of a greater exchange of values and traditions between countries. For example, the international success of the Peruvian Cumbia Orchestra. Another example, the African Song Jerusalem in 2020 or international fashion shows such as Paris Fashion Week are the result of cultural globalization. Um, but we know that the globalization give us advantages and disadvantages. For example, uh, advantages, no, or greater economic and commercial exchange between countries. Another is greater technological exchange between nations, acceleration of the productive and scientific apparatus, global communication in real time, multiculturality, greater linguistic richness. Now I'm going to talk about disadvantages. For example, interventional practices, increase in inequality and unemployment, technology replace unskilled labor, increase in inequality generated by lack of access to technology, transcultural change, disappearance of native languages and dialects, generates damage to the environment. We can say some conclusions about globalization. Globalization brings wealth and poverty to nations. The advantages are greater than disadvantages. A country that does not follow globalization is destined for poverty. Countries are culturally advancing. Technology is essential in this globalized world. Communication is instantaneous from any country in the world. And you can work from any country in the world because you don't need to be physically present.